Welcome, dear listeners, to another bone-chilling episode of Unveiling Nightmares. I'm your host, C.A. Bainham, and today we have a special guest with us. Okay, so our guest today is none other than Alex, author of The Hunt, The Monsters Hunters Book 1. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
You're very welcome. It's lovely to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. I'm a little nervous, but I'm really happy.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. Okay, so tell me a little about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Romania, but at the moment I live in the United Kingdom with my husband and 2 children, and currently 2 crazy cats.
Yeah.
I always had a dream of writing, but I actually started following that dream last year.
Yeah.
And Hunt is my first published book so far.
Brilliant.
But I have a lot of exciting plans for the future, and I'm really hoping all my readers will follow me through this amazing journey.
I hope so too. And I'm sure it's very... the ideas that you've got coming your way is going to be brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell me a little about your book, Hunt, without giving away any of the spoilers.
It was an idea I actually came up with a few years ago when I participated in a contest in a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And it was mostly inspired by a TV show called Supernatural. I actually made my own characters somehow based on the TV show, but I tried to bring some originality in the story. So not following the ideas that Supernatural TV show brought up. I just tried to, I don't know, maybe bring my own monsters into the mix, you know? And it's been really successful, and I've had a lot of good reaction to it. Yeah. Initially, I wasn't planning to do a sequel or to do it as a series, but given the response to it, it's probably gonna be a series for at least 3 or 4 more books.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thank you.
So let's have a look at the darkness behind your writing. So who or what were the biggest influences on your work, especially when it comes to creating such dark and unsettling narratives? So I know you've mentioned Supernatural. So were there anything else that sort of like influenced you?
Yes, I'm mostly influenced and inspired by many of my favorite horror authors, especially Stephen King, but in the last year, I came across a lot of indie horror authors as well that actually gave me a lot of ideas and inspiration through their writing.
Yeah.
Another thing would be my own personal pain and suffering that I've been going through the last year. For example, I've noticed my writing has taken a darker tendency since I lost my dad in March.
Yeah.
So I guess at this point, the pain of losing my father is one of the main things that influences my style.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's been a really difficult time for me in my life, but I managed to overcome and make something good out of it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I understand where you're coming from losing your father. I lost mine a few years ago, but it still hurts.
Yes.
It still hurts. So I can understand that.
I think all we can do is try to follow their legacy and be at least an inspiration for other people the same like they have been in their own time.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I'm sure the listeners are curious about any rituals or methods that you use to bring these stories to life. So do you have any sort of like rituals that you follow to get your creative process flowing?
Not really. Most of my ideas are coming to me based on my own life experience or traumas.
Yeah.
Sometimes my stories are raised from the frustration of being incapable of acting or reacting in a way that would satisfy me against things or person that harm me.
Yeah.
I am the perfect definition of a passive aggressive person. I talk about things that I would do with people, with toxic people in my life, but I don't actually do them.
Yeah.
And I get satisfaction of getting my revenge by creating villains based off people who hurt me in my real life and having the joy, let's say that, of killing them off in my stories.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, completely understand you on that one. Okay, so what challenges have you faced in the horror genre and how do you overcome them?
Well, first of all, I think my main enemy is time, because I don't think I lack ideas, but most of the time I struggle with finding the necessary quiet or time to get into the right mindset.
Yeah.
I think having two small children and a job and all the things that I'm trying to do around and next to writing, it keeps me so occupied and mentally challenged that sometimes I'm struggling with finding the right mindset and the right time for writing.
Yeah.
Also, another thing is that I'm a perfectionist in what I do. And sometimes I feel like it's really hard to find the right words to express what I feel, or to find the perfect sensation that I want to raise in my reader's heart.
Yeah. I mean, some of the, I don't know whether you've seen, but some of the Facebook groups, they do say maybe put like an hour aside each day or half an hour aside just to do a little bit of writing. But sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on your situation.
Yes, I have moments when I manage to do that. But to be honest, in the past month or so, I've been struggling with a few personal things in real life that kept me somehow blocked from having the time or the right mindset to write.
Yeah.
Because I struggle with mental health issues, and even if I'm a horror writer, and even if these mental health issues might sometimes be useful to say that in writing horror,
Yeah.
but you tend to become so overwhelmed by what you write in the same time with your real life issues that you're gonna find yourself in a worse place than normal, you know?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Right. So, can you provide us with some insights into any of the reactions or experiences that you've received of your readers? Are there any memorable moments that stand out to you?
Well, to be honest, every person is unique and will perceive every story they read in their own unique way.
Yeah.
And the response to Hunt, as I already mentioned, has been truly amazing. And I want to thank every person who has taken the time to read and share their thoughts on it. And I think I especially enjoyed when people said that my story has reminded them of certain TV shows, like I mentioned it before, the Supernatural.
Yeah.
Also, when they said they reminded them of books they've read, because that's when I know that my writing brings back precious memories in people's heart.
Yeah.
And I think that's what every writer should aim to their writing.
Yeah.
You can give the reader a feeling of comfort, or make the reader so scared that because they make them relive their own experience, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
And I also appreciate and value constructive critique as long as it helps me to improve my future stories.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you don't want nasty sort of like comments. You want stuff that's going to sort of like help you along the way.
Yes, I mean, for example, if I have reviews that they said they didn't enjoy the story because they thought that the writing was too repetitive or something like that, or too simple, I wish they could give me examples, because I know I'm kind of limited in my language by not being English native.
Yeah.
I know that I face certain challenges, and this is why I'm looking forward to this kind of constructive critique that could help me improve my writing.
Yeah. I mean, from what I read, it was the writing was perfect. So there's no problems there.
Thank you.
So no, I don't think you've got anything to worry about there at all. But as you say, constructive criticism you can actually work with, can't you?
Yes.
Right. So I'm curious about the future. You said you've got some upcoming projects, so that's work in progress. So can you give us any sort of like teasers for what's coming in the future?
Yes. So like I said before, I'm planning at least 3 or 4 new books in the Monster Hunter series, but those will probably be on hold for now, because my next release that I'm hoping it will be published by the end of this year is called A Werewolf's Diary.
Yeah.
And will include a tiny surprise that I believe my readers will enjoy very much. I don't want to say too much. I actually want it to be a surprise. Also, I had an idea about a book that will be partially based on my father's death, and on the feelings that on the feelings and experiences that I've been through since then.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think that will be my therapy project. I haven't actually started working on that because I'm finding really difficult to find the right words for it.
Of course.
But I'm really hoping that will be ready to come out somewhere in 2024 as well.
Brilliant.
Also, I was thinking at the future of extreme horror literature. I would love to see more women getting the courage to come forward and publish and raise expectation and acceptance of women in this field.
Yeah.
Because I am learning as I go from some very inspiring India authors, and I'm hoping to become an influence to someday.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I'm sure you will be.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. So a heartfelt thank you to you for coming onto the show.
Thank you so much for having me again.
You're very welcome. What I shall do is I shall put all the descriptions to your books I shall put all the links to the books in the description so that people can go and find your books. Stay tuned, dear listeners, for more spine-tingling tales and dark discussions in a world of extreme horror. Until next time, remember the nightmares are real, and here on Unveiling Nightmares, we're crafting nightmares one tale at a time.